Oh baby, it's the week. What's this? Week 4 power rankings. I typed it right. This week,
You tried.
this week I got my arch nemesis Brett.
I didn't realize we were rivals, but there you go.
I don't know. We're not in the same division. We're just like I don't know.
We banter. We
Yeah,
banter.
banter is a good word for it. So last week did with David. Last week was an interesting week for D2. There was like 6-3-0 battles, so it was hard to kind of gauge how like the winners compared to each other. Since a lot of the results were similar, but we had a couple big jumps with Monkey and Gremlin because they had big wins against decent teams. And otherwise, not too much crazy going on. JLI got tanked for forfeiting, so that'll happen. But we'll just hop right back into it. In 16th, it's gonna be Will again. This poor man.
Can't catch a break right now.
Yeah, I mean, you go 0-4. There's not much you can like do to save yourself.
Yeah,
And also
not
doesn't
really
help.
much to be said.
No, also doesn't help that it was a 6-0. So you're just
It's
gonna.
kind of insult to injury at this point.
Yeah, I forgot to watch these battles. So I don't really remember what happened. I did it with last week's,
Oh,
but
I didn't either.
I'm just looking at the results. Yeah, so I mean, Will got 6-0'd. There's probably. Yeah, let me just click on the link real quick.
I'm doing the same thing as we speak.
I mean, he brought Articuno, so that's great. But he also brought
Already
like
Kuno's actually low key pretty nice. It's actually pretty fat in the right matchup.
no,
So
it's solid. He brought 4 fire weaknesses and no fire resists, so I think that's part of what happened.
it really be like that.
He also brought 3 rocks weaknesses and 2 potential defoggers that don't like to run it. So I don't think he built very well. I think is the main issue here.
Basing off the results, it looks like the Alola starters went off.
Yeah,
Holy crap! Incineroar and Primarina combining for 5 kills.
yeah, that'll do it. Yeah, he also didn't have any water resists, so yeah,
Yeah, I
fire water
noticed
just
that.
the
Like,
starters went to town. So
yeah, Primarina is one of the better like offensive
dude,
waters
I
like
hate
too.
facing Primarina because it's just like every switch is a 50-50. Like
And because it's so fat, it's not easily revenged.
no, it's like maybe like even if you have a water poison, like you still could get hit by like a psychic out of nowhere.
Exactly.
It's just it's
Like
hard. It's
toxic.
very hard to switch into.
Absolutely. It gets the right coverage for what its role is.
Yeah. All right. So yeah. Sorry, Will. That's not too much to say about that.
We
Better
still
luck
love
next
you.
week. Yeah. Will's a great guy. So here's weirdly enough, in 15th is wait. I don't think this is right because I think Spanik played this game, right?
I don't think Spanik did. Did he?
I don't know. Did he play Ian? Here, let me click on the link. We're doing it live, baby. He did. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. So that I'll change that to say New York Rangers. It's still Spanik. He dropped after this week. It's not like really a spoiler. But he
Yeah.
also did lose. So we got 2 0-4 teams going into week 4. They're going to be at the bottom. Just not much you can do about that.
Yeah, it's basically like between the two, like who lost their games by a smaller margin and like stuff like that. So
Yeah,
there's not really much to differentiate.
yeah. But that one was only 3-0. So good job, Spanik. You brought it back a little bit. Yeah,
You didn't
this
get killed.
right. Yeah. So I mean, Heatmore came, which is cool. On the other side.
Heatmore's actually pretty interesting. I
Yeah.
actually kind of like Heatmore, especially because it's actually got a pretty powerful sucker punch for a non-stab.
Yep. Yeah. It just seemed just not a great matchup for Spanik, and he didn't do too much to account for it. So you know
hmm
that'll lose it for you. Yeah, but I don't know. Like people, because I remember because speaking about him leaving, the person who replaced him or somebody I don't know when we were showing the teams around, they were like, "How are you 0-3 or like with 0-4 with like Aurora Veil Megazard?" And I'm like, it's
In my
not
opinion,
good.
just Aurora Veil, it's good when used right, but it's just way too situational.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, he easily could have beat Trog. He got critted by an Earth Power while Zard was setting up behind Veil. So, he had a couple of rough battles. David swept him with a Salazzle. So like I don't know what do you do against that?
Lazzle's so underrated, dude. Oh my
It's
lord.
solid. I mean, like his best answer for it would have been like a scarfed Landorus, and I don't think he brought it scarfed, so the thing just ran through his team.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's had a couple bad weeks, a couple of bad preps, I think, couple or like one slightly hexed game. So you dropped to 0-4, and you leave, but he didn't leave because he was doing bad. Not to like obviously talk about him. He got like a new shift at work or something. I don't know what happened, but
Yeah, I just know that his time got away from him and he was kind of busy all the
yeah,
time. So.
he's also in like at least two other leagues, and
Yes.
since this is like a non-upload like D2 or whatever thing, I don't totally blame him for choosing
It's like a
which one to go
side
first.
for him.
Yeah, like if you're in like majors or like Wi-Fi leagues, like yeah, go ahead and
That's understandable.
yeah, so it's all good.
At least he gave us enough heads up.
Yeah, he also did. He like basically did this week 4 and then dropped. Like he could have not done it basically.
Hmm.
But yeah.
He did what he had to do in a good way.
Yeah, definitely no bad build there. So above Spanik is going to be Jay Law in the Sacramento Sandshrews. He forfeited again.
Ooh.
He was still dead, still no internet.
He did.
Yeah, it's rough. I mean, like I said, it's like I understand like if according to him like he's moving and just doesn't have internet or something, but like we just didn't get the notice we needed for that.
Yeah, like I was actually his week 3 opponent. We
Yeah.
extended well into week 4.
Yeah.
He never responded except once to say I'm moving, and then never responded
Right.
again. So
Yeah, and that one was rough because like you guys did have a chance to play, and then like things got in the way. But that was like on a Thursday, so you still had plenty of time.
we had like multiple days to try and reschedule, and then
Yeah.
he just kind of dipped.
Yeah, and then he disappeared, so it was just like okay. And he disappeared for all of week 4, so that's just no good. So
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's kind of a free tank for me in the power ranking, so I don't have to feel bad about like throwing people to the bottom.
You done goofed.
Yeah, so that'll do it. And funnily enough, above him is going to be Dolphin Squared and the Red Spark Deku Volt, who was his opponent. So, he'll give him a nice +0 for taking that forfeit.
Nice.
Yeah, which actually isn't bad. Like that brings him to 2-2, which is like actually solid for week 4. It's like to have him.
Speaking of having trouble scheduling, I know Dolphin has a lot of trouble scheduling a lot of his games.
Yeah,
too.
which is kind of ironic that like he's kind of the last person I would
played
expect
each other.
to get the forfeit win. I would expect him to give it away.
So basically, we had Johnner versus Johnner.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know. It's fine. So yeah,
Yeah,
2-2, not bad. But he's still having issues. He's only battled twice in week 4, which is like you don't see that too often.
Not the best.
So like in actual battles, he's 1-1, which is still not terrible. But
Yeah.
yeah, I left him there because, like I said, if you don't battle, you're not proving anything, whether or not it was your choice that to battle. So it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to change someone's rank unless somebody near them got like just absolutely demolished, so you can drop them.
Yeah, which is understandable.
Yeah. All right. So above Dolphin, maybe we can talk about battles that actually happened. So this is actually the a switch that happened. So Shade dropped after week 3. So he actually got replaced. So that's why I put this little CAL because it's like a
Lunar.
logo. Yeah, Lunar's a cool dude. I
I like Lunar. I've known him for a while.
Yeah,
I've known him for a while,
Okay.
actually. Pretty good dude.
I'm in CPL with him now in majors, so that's
I get along with him pretty well on a personal level.
yeah. He's been totally fine. And he came back and first battle inheriting 0-3 team just gets a 6-0, so it's a pretty good
It
start.
was definitely pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean it was like it wasn't anything crazy, but he also like he played Trog and Trog had literally no answer for like a defensive wishing Sylveon.
Yeah, from what I'm looking at from the results, it looks like Sylveon really did Jordy.
Yeah, like 80% of that battle was just Trog being unable to break Sylveon, and then the rest of it was just like Lunar switching a couple times to save differentials. So
He just has a fat team like Mega Latias, Pharaoh,
right, and
Mantine.
that's part of the reason that like Shade was so highly ranked like early on before battles happened is because like his team's solid.
Yeah, like if you don't have an offensive enough team, you will get cut.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really weird though because he made some or Shea made some like awful trades before leaving. Like he dropped Mimikyu, he dropped Tentacruel and shit, and then Lunar came in and was just like, "Can I just like undo these?" And we're like, "Yeah, just go Buck Wild." So he definitely rounded out the team a little bit better.
I think he made a pretty smart move on doing the changes because I like the way the team is actually, and I
Yeah,
feel like in the right hands it could do some work.
yeah. I think when he inherited the team, there was a Bruxish and a Mantine on there. I don't know how
Oh
that happened.
wow,
Yeah.
Bruxish of
Dude,
all
Bruxish should
things.
have come though. I mocked Trog for this battle, and Bruxish kind of did work against Trog's team.
Oh, I mean, I believe it. It's just Bruxish is typically not the water type you see
No,
because
that's
there's
like
800 water type.
yeah, it's like especially for like a water and a psychic. It's like I'm sure you can find like a better like a higher price better mon. Like if
Like there's also like Slowbro and Slowking.
yeah, like I said, and he also had a water and a psychic type. So I don't know what it was doing. Like I guess it was one of those just like niche like 1 week pickups, but
I
I
mean,
don't
yeah,
know.
that's fair. Like sometimes I've done that too in the past.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
one of the mons that's actually really good for that is Quillfish.
Hmm. That's what I
Yeah,
kind of did
so
with Shinotic, but then I have to keep it on my
hmm.
roster because I'm out of trades.
It's really annoying with the sub strength saps for
Yeah,
Moonblast Leech.
actually,
Oh
yeah,
my.
it did well for me, but it went wrong because I there was a sub Dragonite, so I couldn't sport it. It was
Oh,
sub Toxic, which was like a really good bring. But
that's actually really interesting.
yeah,
I have seen that Dragonite in the past, but not often.
right. But yeah, so I don't know. I don't mind it. But yeah, so Lunar comes in, gets a 6-0, kind of gets himself back in it. It's tough. It's tough to inherit like a team that's 0-3 because you kind of know going
But
in that you really have to play to give yourself a chance.
but luckily, the thing with our season is because I believe it's a 12-week
Yeah,
this year, so this season. So there's plenty of time to improve that. There's plenty of time to move up the ranks.
yeah. I mean, if top six make the playoffs, something like 8-4, I think even in some situations like 7-5 could, with a good differential, could sneak in.
Yeah, for sure.
So
So like, there's definitely plenty of opportunities for Lunar to turn it around and make playoffs. He has a small room for error, but there's definitely a good chance.
yeah, and I don't know, I don't think Shade had really been playing like bad teams. So like I think there's, I don't think any of the teams below him on the screen right now like he's played. So like all the other 1-3,
Yeah,
0-4
he
teams.
definitely has like a easier schedule than most
Yeah,
for
see,
the rest of the.
yeah. So you got like Ellie out of the way, you got Trog out of the way, got
Mhm.
Blood out of the way. So there's some few teams. I don't know. It's also a 12-week season, so everyone misses 3 coaches, like out
Mhm.
of the 15. So who knows? Maybe three of these guys down here he doesn't even play.
But who knows?
Yeah, I don't pay attention to that. But whatever. So above gosh, Lunar is gonna be Blood and the Lubin Larvatars. So Blood actually won this week, and I only gave him 1 rank. It's tough because like he prepped well, he played well. I don't remember who did he beat.
That would be me.
Yeah, I know. That's always fun. But yeah, so he did beat like a 3-0 team. I mean 2-0 games played and forfeit, but still 3-0. And he played well enough. He prepped well enough to win. I think the reason he didn't get as much is because like a lot of the teams above him also won. So like
Mhm.
I couldn't just like shoot him above all the other 2-2 teams. Um,
Yeah, I feel you.
just because I don't know, he's had like 2 good battles and 2 bad battles, so he at least
Yeah, I
jumps the
mean,
1 rank.
speaking from like actual like experience, like going up against Blood.
Yeah,
The thing is, like he didn't make any crazy plays, but what he made up for in like pretty like basic plays, he had some pretty phenomenal prep. So like he
yeah,
did what he had to do.
right. He just
He
he that's exactly right. He just
yeah, he made up for pretty he didn't play bad. He played pretty decently, but like his prep is what set him apart, in my
yeah.
opinion.
It's like his prep was good enough that he didn't need to make crazy plays, which I think is
Exactly.
kind of the opposite problem. So I said that about Gremlin last week when he beat Ian. Like he made like 3 like really like bold predictions, and I was like, that's like a good reflection on him as a coach, and I think it's a poor reflection on his team that he's forced to make crazy plays to have a chance to win. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that's kind of like a good sign for Blood that his team has what it takes if he can just kind of prep and play.
Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, it's not always going to be the case because time constraint.
Yeah.
Like that's the issue I run into a lot with my prep is just time constraints.
Yeah.
But he definitely did play well. He definitely did deserve the win. He deserved to move up.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's not really much else I can say other than he did a good job.
Yeah. You did it, buddy. All right. So above him by one rank is going to be Joey and the Los Angeles Nido Kings. So I don't remember this battle at all.
I don't remember this one either. There are some that I usually remember. This one was not one of them.
No. All I can say is looking at the thing, he only lost 1-0, so it wasn't a huge swing.
He played Arky, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the battle, it looks like it was just like a bunch of trade-offs.
Ooh, he did get frozen twice.
Oh, wow.
I think
Were they like
something went
instant
wrong.
thaws or did he stay frozen?
I think they were like he got frozen, got one turn, and then died because he had to stay in.
Ooh. So it probably did matter.
Yeah, like it wasn't one of those things where like he had a frozen mon stay in for 6 turns, but it was also just like he missed out on like 2 big attacks or roosts or whatever. So
And he got screwed because of it. Yeah.
yeah,
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe he shouldn't have dropped as far as he did. I mean, 3 spots isn't terrible, but it was definitely a winnable game.
No, but like, I mean, the thing is, like you said, a lot of the people above just won. So like,
yeah,
if you lose, you lose.
yeah. So that's why he's also above Blood. They're both 2-2. They both had pretty close games, so they're just kind of there because of how like the season's gone.
How
for them,
he lost.
Yeah, like Joey just had like a slightly better like result than Blood did, even if he lost.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah, but they're both very similar. Like it's hard to like I don't know. I feel like as the season goes on, it'll be easier with some of these.
Yeah.
But like when you're both 2-2, similar differential, it's like I don't know.
You just kind of just put personal opinion into it.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
I mean, yeah, like no
That's
one's
kind
gonna,
of just what.
no one's gonna be like 5-1, and I'm just putting them in 10th for no reason. Like it's
Unless it's my team.
Unless it's you, yeah.
Yeah.
That's easy. Easy decision. All right. Yeah, so a little bit unlucky.
Anything I should be 17.
So above Joey is going to be Trog at 9th. He drops 4 because he got 6-0'd.
Yeah, so like there's not really much you can do. There wasn't really hacks either. He just didn't have any answers.
Yeah, it's just one of the things where like had he just subbed out any one of his defensive mons for like Mega Steelix, like the battle could have gone completely differently.
Yeah, especially because Sylveon was one of the big threats there.
Yeah, it was mostly just him like trying to whittle down Sylveon, getting chipped, switching around.
Mm-hmm. Because one heavy slam for Mega Steelix, that's gone.
Yeah, and like it forces switches and all that. So yeah, it was a rough week for him, especially since like he had originally was going to play Shade, which probably would have been an easier time for him, but because
because
seems pretty solid.
I feel like the changes that Shade attempted to make would have been like an easier matchup for Trog.
We made Lunar keep like the current team, so he got his trades for week 5. So he did have that weird ass Mantine Buxers team, but I mean he brought Mantine and it lived because it came in a couple times and did some stuff. So.
It did what it got to do.
Yeah,
it gets Roost, Deep Fog, Toxic, Scald, Air Slash. That's all you need.
Yeah, it just needs 5 moves, but yeah. So I mean, like it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know. It's not like it was like terrible. It's not like Trog like played poorly. He literally just like missed a prep and like lost because of it. Like he kind of lost before the battle started. I mean,
unfortunately, there's a poem that I actually wrote about this. Roses are red, violets are blue. It don't always be like that, but sometimes it do.
It do. So yeah. So I mean, obviously he'll drop. He's still ahead of a couple of 2-2 teams. There's a handful of 2-2 teams right now. Probably like, I don't know. Probably like 6 or 7.
That's fair. Because some of those games might not have been totally within his control. Like, Hacks plays an element in every match. So, like, if you're maybe a game off from someone else, but you put them ahead even though they have one last win, like, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, I get it.
Yeah, but I mean, between Trog, Joey, and Blood, they all have decent teams. They've all played decently. It's just, Trog has a slightly better team. I don't really know what their like differentials are if this matches the league table or not, but it's just how it ends up. Like it's kind of the thing of like the momentum from last week, where it's like I'm not gonna drop Trog like 8 spaces for no reason, but
Yeah,
it's just kind of like when two teams like they kind of like both deserve the same spot. I kind of just say whoever was higher last. I'll usually keep unless like something totally bad happened.
like drastic happens.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
So it's like I'll Trog and Joey both lost, but Trog was above him before, and whatever.
shenanigans ensued.
Yeah, shenanigans. So above Trog is gonna be actually Moki this time. So he's actually got up quite a lot from last in week 2. Starting 0-2,
Yeah.
he's now 1-2 in a row.
I mean, the thing with Moki is I've known him longer than like a lot of you guys. He has very hot streaks and very cold streaks. But like if you catch him on one of his hot streaks, like I'm sure you can remember from D3 last season, he's a force to be reckoned with.
Oh yeah, he was. He basically he like started throwing at the end of the season for some reason or something. Like I don't know what happened, but yeah, he started like
he just
extremely
like
good.
had time constraints on his end as well.
Yeah.
But
So it's
like
also the second week in a row that Swampert just came in turn 1 and O-code the lead. So last week it was a sludge wave on Tapu Bulu, and this week it was a hydro pump on Nidoqueen. So
I
Monkey's
mean,
just
it
going
just gets
berserk.
good coverage and like
Yeah.
people don't expect it.
Now most of the time you see Swampert, non-mega, you expect it to be defensive.
Lead rocks.
Yeah. So yeah, not only did it stay in on a Nidoqueen and outsped it. It was a spec set. Just very very good prep on his part. I don't know how many
Moki's
more
really good
times
with
it can
the
work.
unexpected prep.
Yeah,
Like
he,
I've
he,
had to go up against it before. Like we were in the same division last season. We played week 1.
yeah,
So like he's a master of like the unexpected but useful prep.
yeah. I remember there was quite a few battles last season where I mean it's last season, but he had like Mega Medicham and he would just run like kind of a weird like spread or set and
Def
the
Mega
opponent just
Metachamp.
would get fucked. Yeah. So
That's
yeah,
what
a good
got
battle
me.
for him. Not only did he win again, he beat a top team, so that counts for something. So that'll get him up above the other 2-2 teams just for he's on that streak. He's been prepping extremely well. I think he's getting a better feel for his team because his team's kind of weird.
Sometimes certain teams just take a little bit to get
Yeah.
going, but then once they do, they're hard to stop.
Yep. Good job, Moki. You're a spooky boy.
Yay, spooky!
So above Moki is gonna be Ian and the Surrey Stingers. Who did he play? How did he do? I don't remember. Oh, he
I
played
can pull-
he played Hispanic.
Oh right.
Right. So, he beat an 0-4 team. It's a win, but it's not like, had Pick'em survived, I don't think that was like a crazy swing.
I mean, it wasn't like a huge win. It was pretty convincing, like 3-0.
Yeah,
Like,
he
there's
was
not
in
really
control.
much to say about it.
Yeah.
We already talked about it pretty much for Hispanic.
Yeah. So yeah, Ian played well, he prepped well. I think now I don't know, he made like the one Garchomp trade and I think he's starting to pull it back a little bit.
The only thing I have to say about Ian that might prevent him from getting these higher ranks in the future is like I played against him. He's a very strong player, but what I've noticed is he tends to become a bit flustered in late game situations, and like he needs to improve on that. Like against me, I know that like he kind of just gave me the win when he didn't have to.
Yeah.
So like it's nothing against them. Like we all have things we need to work on, but like his late game situations, he definitely needs to work on a little bit.
I feel like that's like extremely common because you say that and I can think of like 4 people off the top of my head that like it happens to him all the time.
I mean, yeah, it's like a pretty common issue, but like
Yeah.
that's what separates the good teams from the great teams.
Oh, for sure. Right, but yeah, so another 2-2 team, so that's like 5 in a row.
So many. There's actually so many 2-2 teams.
Yeah, so good. So above Ian is going to be DI Gremlin and the South End Stoutlands. So another team.
Another big one.
Yeah, just like Moki started 0-2, 1-2 in a row, and he also, well, he beat Will.
Oh,
So
but that was a 6-0.
Yeah, but it was 6-0. So it was just like a handy win. Good prep.
just no
play.
switches for Primarina.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, he did it. Like, I don't know. It's hard to say. So he kind of has that hot streak bonus going to him, which is why he's closer to he's in sixth rather than middle of the pack at 2-2. Just because I think I told David this last week, but I think like winning like if you win your first two and then lose two in a row, or if you lose your first two and then win two in a row, I think you're in a better spot if you've won the two more recently.
Yeah, I'd agree because then you have the momentum going forward.
Your momentum. It kind of shows
you're feeling
like
yourself.
yeah, it shows like a better control of your team, better like building. I mean, it could just be matchups. Sometimes you have two bad and two good matchups, but
Yeah, but it also helps sway your confidence, and if you're more confident, you're more likely to play well. So like, he's in a good spot.
I can attest to that. Starting winning a couple. So Grumman's got some momentum. I think he's figuring out his team. I don't know if he'll make any trades. I don't know if he needs to, but he might. We'll see going forward. So above him is going to be Brandon in the Portsmouth. So it's actually another loss in a row for Brandon. So he started 2-0, then lost 2-0, or like lost two in a row. But this was another battle that against top team. So he played Arky, who was 2-0 last week, and he played David, who was 3-0 this week. So that's two losses against top teams. But like, so on one hand, it's like okay, like they're good, but on the other hand, it's like you need to be good too. If you
yeah. And this match was a bit of a beatdown. It was a little one-sided, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it ended up a 4-0. So I don't know. I don't remember. I don't think I helped either team. Sometimes
I know for a fact I didn't.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I kind of stick my fingers in the D2 business because I've obviously a few friends.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I just remember this battle just kind of happened, and I was just like, oh, the replay. I didn't even know they were playing, and it was just kind of like, but Brandon doing Brandon thing. I think it was like a quick prep or something. Like he's one of those guys who like most of the time doesn't have a lot of time to prep.
That's also me. I usually stick to the 20 to 30 minute preps if I don't have extra time.
Yeah, and he's also very he's still pretty inexperienced, I believe. I'm not sure if NSTL was his first draft league, but it was one of.
I've heard he's been pretty new.
Yeah, like I definitely.
I'm not sure how.
Yeah, because he's good. He's good friends with Gray, obviously, like the commissioner of the league. So yeah, so I mean, he still he still has a decent team. He's 2-2. He lost to like
the top
two
team.
of the top three teams 2 weeks in a row. So there's not a ton you can do about that.
All he has to do is just gather himself and work towards next week. That's all you can do.
Yeah, you gotta bounce back. Like, be like, okay, like those teams are on hot streaks and doing well. Like, now I need to not lose to the 1-3 team. Like that's the sign that you're crumbling.
That's when you know that you got to make some changes. But until that point, I think it would be an overreaction to knock him too much. Just keep at it.
Yeah. I did just say like someone who wins 2 and then loses 2 is kind of in a worse spot. That is what happened with Brandon. Yeah. So, but I just think I don't know. He's got age slash.
He's been playing more competition as well.
Yeah. So you gotta take into account the opponents and all that. I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So in fourth is this guy.
Hi.
What is your team name? Is that like soccer?
The Magcargo Bredaviv?
Yeah, where does that come from?
It is. It is based off of the Tel Aviv soccer club in Jerusalem.
Okay.
That's a long story because I actually co-coached with a friend of mine in a league once, and his team was the Magcargo Tel Aviv, and I was the Mount Olympus Brets, and we combined them, and I used it ever since. Until recently, I actually changed it.
Yeah. All right, fair enough. Yeah, you did lose, and you still gained some spots.
Yes.
Because I don't know, because even before, because I didn't move you for the forfeit, so even though you were like 3-0, you were below a couple 2-1 teams. But
which was whack.
But those 2-1 teams also lost, so it kind of brings you back into
top 4.
You're 3-1. Still pretty well. Like first loss, taste of defeat, but
I didn't like it because actually going into that game, my regular season streak was 12 straight regular season win.
Yeah, because you won 8 straight last season.
9.
Or 9, yeah. So Yeah, it's a pretty good. Yeah, one loss. You're not gonna just be like, oh, it's over.
Well, I'm gonna
got,
quit.
yeah, I got to trade my whole team. But
I gotta
yeah,
slice off my hand.
yeah. So you're 3-1. No one else is. So you're at the bottom of the 3-1s if there are any others.
Yeah, that's
So
fair.
yeah.
I mean, I know you're not a fan of my team.
I mean, I honestly, it's just like I was trying to be objective. I think your team's funny. Like
I
I
mean, the
would
thing is,
totally
it
want
fits
to.
my play style. That's why
Yeah,
it's doing better than you probably
right.
expect.
It probably fits my playstyle, honestly.
Yeah.
It's the kind of stuff I drift. But yeah. So above you is actually going to be Charlie and the Shanghai Dragons. She
She's also
lost.
3-1, I believe.
Yeah, she is 3-1. She lost to Moki, so that was one of those games where it's like
Mhm.
Spec Swampert just like just destroyed her.
Hello.
Yeah, she didn't play particularly well, so it's just kind of one of those things where like I'm not gonna say like she had like three really good games for the first 3 weeks, so like one bad game against somebody on a hot streak, I'm
Like
not gonna be
everybody
like
has an off day. Like it
yeah
happens.
yeah, so I'm not gonna tank her for that, but she's still gonna lose the spot, because like the fact that it's not like terrible if you play bad once, but the fact that you play bad at all is still like a sign that
Yeah.
they there may be some things to consider going forward. But yeah, she's
Yeah.
doing fine. That's about it. you know. So actually, I did this wrong because I just copied it over. This should be second place. They're not tied anymore. But here is Arky and the San Antonio Victory Bells. So he actually keeps the streak going, goes to 4-0 after beating Joey. But like I said before, flipping through the replay, he did get two freezes, one of which like at the very least
Kind of.
definitely
Yeah.
mattered because he froze like a Zygarde and that was just like sitting in on an Aggron.
Yeah, for sure. So like that definitely influences like why he's not first.
Yeah,
I
but
get it. Like
yeah, and it was only a 1-0 after all that, so it's
yes,
hard.
so
It's
like
hard to say.
it definitely makes it seem like he relied on the freezes a little bit as a crutch.
Right? Yeah, it's obviously he didn't. It's not one of those things where like he had a better move to hit, but he went for Ice Punch because it could freeze. Like definitely not what happened. It was super effective Ice Punches, but he got the
hmm
freeze. So like
Yeah, so it's kind of
you know,
insult to injury, as I said
yeah,
earlier.
yeah, you can't really control it. He
Yeah.
certainly wasn't playing for hacks. He didn't run Thunder Wave on 5 Mons or something.
Or if you're me and you run toxic on 4 months,
I mean, that's not as bad because
it's
at
just
least
kind of
toxic is
AIDS.
just like yeah, it just does damage. That's my biggest issue. So I might now, but like I didn't have Heal Bell or Aromatherapy on my team for the first like 3 weeks. I'm like, please nobody bring status.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was an oversight. I didn't really notice it until after like the draft, but yeah, that's
Yeah,
fine.
like
Status is part of the game.
yeah. That's why I always make sure I draft a cleric, usually Umbreon or Licky Licky.
Yeah,
Because hacks is AIDS.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, so Arky's 4-0. Hard to not give him top
Yeah,
top
top
game.
couple spots, yeah, for sure.
But that means for the fourth week in a row, the man himself, David Ryan, in the Dynamo Bucharest.
He just he just wiped the floor with Brandon a little bit. Like he just
Oh yeah,
played really well.
yeah,
I mean, we talked about it earlier, but like from my opinion, even though there were a couple kills that went Brandon's way, it definitely seemed pretty decided.
yeah. It's just one of the things where it's like I don't know. I try not to play for differential, but normally, especially when you're in a position where you don't need to. So like if you're 3-0, you're not going to be like, oh, this could be a 5-0, and then risk like
Yeah.
switches and stuff. Like he did exactly what he needed to, and a 4-0 is still a very solid win.
It's very impressive, yeah. Especially because Brandon is one of the other top teams as of the power rankings right now.
Yeah, he has a solid team. He started out 2-0, and he barely lost his week 3, and so it's kind of like he is on the decline.
Yeah, but like he still has a lot of upside. It's like what they say at the NFL draft: low floor, high ceiling.
Yeah. I mean, he's got like Aegis Slash, Tapu Fini. Like this is a pain in the ass.
Yeah, which is going to be a pain for anyone without a strong ground type or dark or like any sort of poison type.
Right. Yeah, it's like those two complementing each other like extremely well.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like an electric type, I guess, because AG doesn't super hard hit that. But
And most electric types get some sort of dark coverage, actually.
that's true.
So yeah,
Yeah. So it's hard to complain about like I don't even know what he was at this point. He was 4-0 plus like 15 or some shit.
Yeah, I
I don't know.
think it's
It was
15 or
pretty. It was
something
up there.
ridiculous.
Yeah. So definitely a deserved first place. Definitely a strong start. Uh, but you never know. He could lose 8 straight, finish 4 and 12.
You never know.
One of the things. Yeah. It would have been really nice to start 4-0. I would very much like that, but it's certainly not a guarantee.
I would have liked that as well.
Almost.
So close.
Yeah. But yeah, that'll do it. So this week was I don't know, it was pretty straightforward. No one dropped more than 4 spots.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, everyone kind of got a pretty fair ranking. Some of them might have been a little severe, but
Maybe
like
some of them
that's
should
just
have
how it works.
Yeah.
You win some, you lose some.
Yeah. There's definitely more extreme week too. There were 2 6-0s, 2 4-0s.
Yeah, so like there was definitely a lot of those hard games, but
Yeah, a
then
lot of
all the
crazier
ones that
battles.
weren't like extremely lopsided were actually pretty good games that could have gone either way.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, still 2 teams without a win, but they can look to turn it around next week.
It's true. Actually,
Yeah.
they play each other.
Oh, a guaranteed.
So guaranteed.
There you go.
That
I'm
sucks.
predicting the future.
Yeah, how awful. I mean, that happened in D1 going into I think week 3.
Oh, really?
Week 3 or week 4, yeah, Gray and Mike played each other, and they were both defeated. So
They were both
yeah,
defeated.
I guess it's good for one of them, really bad for the other.
Yeah. Because one of them kind of gets to prove, like, yeah, you know what? Maybe I can do this. And the other one's like,
Right.
well, shit, he didn't have a win either.
It's like I can't even beat the other. Terrible team.
It's like, God damn it.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll have to see how that one goes, how it shapes up the week 5s. And hopefully week 5 will be coming somewhat soon.
Fingers
The
crossed.
timing of all this shit. Yeah. We'll figure it out. So yeah, I don't know. I think that's about it. Thanks for joining me, Britt.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's fun. I don't know how many more times I'll be able to do a guest, but right now I had all of Sunday off and whatever. So
Yeah, and I'm off for break
Spice
this
it up.
week, so
ooh, there you go.
easy money.
Yeah, easy money. All the views.
All of these.
All right. Well, yeah. I don't know. Thanks for watching, viewers, and we will see you next week.
Bye.